on the Zealots and the Stalkers. And very nice job by MorroW. I gotta back that up because I need to commentate on that. That was fantastic. So MorroW sees the Colossi, he's running away, he picks up a bunch of his units and starts dropping while on the move. Look at that fantastic play, dropping those units, taking out that Colossi while these units deal with the Immortal and Stalkers. Wow, MorroW, you just amaze me every game. That was absolutely fantastic. MorroW had the smaller army, he had the tech disadvantage, but he was able to use HuK's little weaknesses with that force fields and not attacking them with the proper units with that Colossi, and just obliterates the army. Looking at the units lost tab, yeah, HuK has lost more than MorroW has, and now that MorroW's got a couple of Vikings out on the field, any other Colossi that come into effect are not going to be effective at all. They are going to be pretty much worthless unless HuK transitions into a Sentry Stalker army, which it looks like he might. But I noticed HuK really loves to use his Zealots lately, and when you're playing with Colossi and Sentries, the Zealots really aren't what you want to use. You want to abuse the fact that you can get 9 range on the Colossi, and you want to force field the units so that they can't move forward and attack the Colossi. But when you have Zealots, they're just going to run up, get stuck on the force fields, and get attacked by the Marauders, and your army's going to get whittled down. A pylon here at the back door is revealing that MorroW is pushing into the back of the base, and MorroW, very nice job by keeping these Vikings in a great position to hold off any Colossi that might come in, and it looks like they're going to go patrolling for this Colossi. He knows there's a Colossi out in the field. He knows he needs to kill it ASAP in order to keep this army alive as long as possible. The Marines do have the combat shield, so it is going to keep them alive long enough to do enough damage against these Colossi. Looking back at the production tab, we've got an Immortal, a couple more SCVs. Let's quickly... Wow, once again, MorroW is playing fantastic. He is just attacking on both fronts with the major part of his army. He juked out HuK, thinking that HuK needs to bring his army all over here. Meanwhile, bringing in a Marauder and a Marines, or a small attack force, and killing a pylon. Taking free money is never a bad idea. The Vikings, seeing that there is just not enough Stalkers in this composition, they could probably just fly in and take out that Colossi really easily. Looking at the income tab, we still do see the worker disadvantage for HuK, 41 over 30. MorroW's income is once again about 50% stronger than HuK's is right now, and HuK is just not mining enough gas. I don't know what's going wrong. Maybe he... Oh, engagement. Go. Scan going down, making sure there's no observers or that there's nothing that's going to scare him away. The Vikings do clean up that army. The Vikings are now absorbing some of the damage from the Stalkers. They're going to land behind, and the Mortals are trying to clean up these Marauders, and it looks like they might do enough. Yes, HuK may be able to hold out. No? What? Wow. Marauders are just overpowered with Medevacs, because that was... I mean, when you looked at the composition, I guess Marauders are much better than Stalkers, but it looked like HuK had just a larger army after those Vikings fell and after his army got separated. But lo and behold, MorroW comes out ahead. And going back to the production tab, it looks like there's another observer, or the first observer? Yes, the first observer coming out now. That was a little bit too late. HuK needs it out on the field ASAP. And hey, I didn't say ASAP that time. But he needs that out as soon as possible, needs to know what MorroW's doing, where he's expanding, and what he needs to do to come back from this game. Looking at the units lost tab, he is still a little bit behind, although it's not really that bad. MorroW's gearing up to take away his third base, using 2 Marauders and a Marine here to take out these rocks, and wow, as soon as I say that, he pulls away. The Vikings here are going to be virtually useless. There's 4 out on the field, but there are no Colossi left. 1 gets taken out. Force field's trying to trap some units. He does trap a Marauder, and this Medevac is going to be the saving grace and pick up that Marauder. So force fields don't prevent Medevacs from, picking up units. I need a quick sip. So much action going on. Really interesting games. Lots of things to talk about. It's just such a great show match right now. I really hope these players play a little bit more. Kind of like TLO and White Rod did back in the beta when they had like 4 back-to-back best-of-7 show matches. I mean, I have to admit I got bored of TVP, but nonetheless, still more TVP coming here, and lots of action. And MorroW's Medevac play is just fantastic. Going in for another drop. I seriously can't talk about this enough. This play, it just abuses the immobility of the Protoss force, or any force, you know, to say the least. And it looks like MorroW's going to drop and try to take out maybe the pylon or maybe these 2 warp gates. But HuK's army isn't too far off. There is a scan. He is going to... Wow. Very nice job once again. Scans ahead of time, sees the army, and just pulls out. He didn't kill anything. He wasted a scan, but he still didn't lose anything. So, you know, it's still dictating... it's letting him dictate where the Protoss army is on the field. And it's a very abusive strategy. It's great. His third base is up, and it looks like he's dropping his units down there just to make sure there is no expansion, or maybe to get a flank. I don't know. But there is an observer overhead. The Terran army does not know about it. He doesn't see the ripple. The Protoss army feels comfortable enough to engage right now, although he's not leading with his Immortals. You need to lead with those Immortals. Guardian Shields could have been up a little bit better, and once again, okay force field stopping the Terran army from retreating. A little bit of excessive. Okay, now a lot excessive, but still, once again, the Protoss army just gets cleaned up. You really want to use the force fields in a different direction. HuK does GG, so he does lose that game. I just want to outline something. If he would have put force fields in a little bit of a different direction. Now, if he would have brought force fields, force field here, force field here, force field here, it still would have allowed his zealots to engage the units that are clumped up. But what it's going to do is push these units back and allow them to not engage. They'd have to run around, and it's going to let the Protoss army, the ball of their army, attack less of the Terran army. Putting the force fields behind here really doesn't do anything. The Terran army has medevacs. They're not going to retreat. Why would you retreat when you have that many medevacs? And even if they wanted to retreat, they could just pick up his units and run away. But, you know, a little bit of bad force field play, I think, cost HuK this game. I think he could have won it in multiple situations. He could have won it back here at the early game, and I think he could have came out of that battle a little bit ahead. I want to see the army tab. I know I'm backing up a lot, but this is the ability that you have. I guess MorroW did have quite a bit larger army. I want to look if any of that army is units that are on the way. Just a little bit. If we look, none of HuK's army is not in, so all of HuK's army is there. But I think with a little bit better sentry play, he would have been okay. But anyways, thanks for tuning in. This does let MorroW take Game 6. And that means that he is the winner 4 games to 2. So he is going to take away the $200. And once again, big thanks to Gosu Guide for bringing us this show match. I'll probably upload these tonight so you guys can see them. The streams weren't that great. Probably some bad streaming issues, but hey, we know streams. That happens. Anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys. If you do like it, please subscribe, rate, and comment. I haven't been putting out a lot of content on my channel lately, but I will try to do that more often. Games like this, I absolutely love casting, and I hope to do some more co-pro casts soon where I can get HuK or MorroW kind of in Skype with me and talk about their games. I really want to do it with MorroW. I've done it with HuK, Demuslim, and Artosis. They turned out fantastic. I had some audio problems in the first few, but they ended up being really, really great casts. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. I will see you next time.